Hi there. Thank you for pressing play, and we welcome you in to Three Guys Before the Game. This is episode number 445. The title is Walking into Fog. Ooh, mysterious meaning. Mysterious. That could be like walking, like Mothman used to walk into fog probably during his heyday.
Why'd you have to start with that?
I
thought we've said we're over that, and it keeps coming back in, and you just did that intentionally.
Yeah.
There was no reason.
Yeah,
totally gratuitous mention there.
It was unprepared, as obviously everything I say is, and I just thought fog and Mothman, but that's a different kind of fog we're talking about. This weekend, West Virginia's going to try again. Try it again. They're going to go into Fog Allen Fieldhouse, and they will try to earn their first ever victory since joining the Big 12 Conference against the Kansas Jayhakws, who are positioned to once again win the Big 12 regular season title. Then after that...
Well, real quick, you broke the Oklahoma streak this year. You might as well go ahead and break the Fog Allen streak.
What do you mean?
Well, football hadn't beaten Oklahoma since joining the league, right?
You went to football real quick there, yeah.
Sorry, jumped over
Yeah,
football.
so you're due. Yeah, you're due on that. Boy. And you know, if you're a Mountaineer fan, which you probably have a strong chance of being one if you're listening to this, you know and I know, and we all know, that when these kinds of things happen, it's always when what? You least expect it, right? It's just like when you least expect it, that's when it happens. Maybe that's it. Maybe this is, you just kind of sneak in there like a sheep in wolf's clothing, and you become the biggest story of Saturday in college basketball. Maybe. And then from Fog Allen, we head to Brad's stomping grounds, the great state of Iowa, and we will play the Cyclones on Monday night. Happy to report, by the way, if you're a regular listener, that the relationship that had been in peril with Evan in Iowa, starting to mend. Didn't know he had my cell phone number. Got a text from him about 10 o'clock the other night. I look down, it says maybe Evan. What? Maybe Evan. I look at it. He texted me last year. It's probably going to see him on Monday night.
So he's going to go to the game at Hilton there.
Yeah,
trying to mend fences personally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
well,
okay.
He doesn't need to mend anything. I mean, if you remember, I'm the one that may have put a.
Oh yeah, it was totally your fault.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you were absolutely to blame.
He had a situation that I was not aware of last year at the game when we played there at Hilton. So he tried to get down to say hello courtside, and Hilton Magic, of course, the security made him magically disappear. Wouldn't let him down. Wouldn't let him down. Like, here, sure, you're gone.
Sure.
I said, we can fix that. We can fix that. I'm sure those security people are just trying to do what they're told to do, but I think we could probably work around that a little bit. So going to effort to see him on Monday night. Plus, I got some other requests in. Food. I've been doing food. So we had a group that's going to Ames for the first time. They texted in. I needed to make food suggestions. So I basically have been like AAA. Reached out to John Walters, the play-by-play guy at Iowa. I said, okay, at Iowa State. Okay, hey, John, what do you got here? I need food for that. And gave him that. Then I got guys, and you'll see here in the text coming up in a little bit. They're going to stay. They're going in Kansas for the first time. Where do we eat? So I'm all of a sudden like I'm Tommy the travel agent here.
I see. Where are you eating? Right there in Ames? You staying in Ames?
Staying right in Ames.
You're not staying like in Bondurant or anything, or Ankeny?
Excuse me?
Staying in Ankeny maybe?
No.
Roll over.
No,
right
we're
in
Ames.
Ames.
We're right in Ames. Different hotel than we normally
Now,
stay
football,
at.
you used to stay in West Des Moines.
Yeah, we used to. Yeah, we used to stay there. Nice Marriott there. Met your mom there. Remember your mom came over on a Friday night.
Well, because you were literally, it was like 2 blocks from where they lived. Literally 2 blocks.
Yeah, she came over. We had a good time with her. Absolutely. Three Guys Before the Game is brought to us by the Burdett Camping Center, the only warranty forever RV dealer in all of West Virginia. Visit them at burdettcamping.com. I cannot hit it enough. that they're the only dealer in West Virginia that gives you a warranty that lasts forever. You buy the RV and it lasts forever. Visit them at burdettcamping.com. I had a great conversation with Bob over at Comax earlier this week.
Yeah.
He's thrilled that we're thrilled with the printers.
Thrilled.
That we got from him. By the way, the printers that we got, like, they're not like the ones that are like 3 inches tall. It's a printer.
Well, I had to clear space. I mean, before I went for the setup, because I figured it'd be nice and easy and the setup would take 5 seconds, had to give some thought to positioning.
No, I get it.
It was nice.
Yeah. Comax Business Systems, keeping West Virginia's business data safe, secure, and efficient for 25 years. And we sit here and we talk about, how 25 years they've been in the business. So they did start in equipment, right? They started in office supplies, and they still do that, right? Got a great line of Comax products, anything you need, like from whatever, paper clip to the greatest printer in the world to anything. They got all that. But obviously they have moved into all kinds of good stuff, managing your phone systems in your business, managing your IT. It's there for you. Great, great West Virginia people. As I said on the last pod, the happiest thing among many things on this podcast is all of our sponsors are West Virginia born and bred statewide people, which makes me very, very happy. Three Guys is also brought to us by Gomart. If you're not a Gomart Rewards card member, you should be taken to prison. No, that doesn't say that. It says if you're not a Gomart Rewards card member, you need to sign up today, save on gas and your favorite snacks. Go to Gomart.com rewards for more details. I'm happy
Is
as well.
Kercheval there right now as we record? No, he's probably still
shaking hands.
He's probably still shaking hands at the Capitol.
Yeah, this afternoon
he'll be on the road shortly.
When he comes back on the road, because he's with his bladder situation, he's normally get you from Charleston to Flatwoods 58 minutes.
Right.
Then he's in
about an hour.
like a pit stop. What are you coming in? Like the Daytona this past weekend.
Hoppy coming up on Flatwoods. Yeah, I'm going to get 2 tires on the right side, plus going to stop here for a little bathroom break. All right, got it. Flatwoods, Gomart, go.
Plus a water and a 4-pack Reese peanut butter cup.
Exactly. That's what it'll be. So if you're in there this afternoon, chances are. Three Guys also brought to us by Lou Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans. Now, if you're talking about watercraft, and it's like normally in February in West Virginia, you're going like, dude, come on, man, it's cold. The last thing I'm thinking about. Outside today, like you could go in the water.
If you had your boat in the water, you could be out today.
It'd be a great day today.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So Lou Wendell Marine Sales, located in St. Albans. What do? They do what? They got the greatest thing in the world. They sell family fun. Like some people sell, widgets. Some people sell windows. Some people sell like cement. They sell family fun. That's a good day. Like, what'd you do today? Sold family fun. That's like Bill over at Chestnut Brew Works.
I was just going to say it.
When we met with our guy that made the Kercheval, the brewer, he said, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. He goes, okay, that's good. That's all good. He goes, hey, look, the way I look at this, he says, I just bring the fun.
I bring the fun.
I bring the fun. And
that's why I got into it.
Yeah.
He said, I look around, I got to bring the fun.
Yeah. So that's what Lou
Also
Wendell Marine Sales does in St. Albans. They sell family fun. Visit them. Unbelievable selection of pontoons. The premier dealer of pontoons here in the state of West Virginia. Visit them at LouWendellMarineSales.com. That's LouWendellMarineSales.com. I went to the website the other day, and that was fun just to go to the website because they got really nice videos on the website, and people just sun, people there. It's like, oh yeah, I can get into this. So check them out. They feature Avalon pontoon boats, considered among the best in the market, and those boats that they sell, manufactured right here, 100% in the United States. In fact, in the state of Michigan, in Alma, Michigan. So check them out. Lou Wendell Marine Sales.
They're not a lot better than a pontoon on the lake.
No.
In nice weather. That's about as good as it gets.
So, because I'm nuts, when we got this Lou Wendell Marine deal, I started researching pontoons. So, old boy up in Minnesota is the guy that created the pontoon, like just a little bit past 1900. And what he did was he got 3 oil barrels.
Like the drums?
Drums.
Yeah.
Welded them together.
Yeah.
3.
And 3.
3.
Yeah.
And then put a flat.
Yeah.
Put a flat on top of it. Ding, there's the pontoon. And that's how it started, right here in the great United States of America.
Love it.
So
they are so practical, right? Especially if you have a larger group, which we do on the weekends. We go out, have some kids, have some adults mixed in. Never crowded, plenty of room.
Yeah, moving around.
Enough juice there. We can get a little tube behind there and get going.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys play music on there?
Sure.
Country and Western?
Yeah,
or
country, come mix it up.
Mm-hmm.
Kids go to WVAQ here locally. We'll tune that in.
Oh, they got the radio station rolling.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. All right, so check them out. Lou Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans. All right, as said, West Virginia, Kansas Jayhawks, Saturday afternoon, Allen Fieldhouse. I say it each time we go there, and I'll say it again. For those of you that are hoop fans and you have the opportunity to make road trips, this is the one that I would say from an experience perspective you should do at some point. Spend whatever it is, and I have no idea how much they cost on the StubHub, but make the investment. Go ahead and do it. They got a pretty neat area there besides the actual court. You can go see the actual rules of the game from James Naismith. If you remember, they bought them in an auction. Someone bought them and then donated them to KU years ago. So you can see actually James Naismith's typed rules of the game when he created the game of basketball.
Awesome.
So it's a good, and the crowd is, I mean, it's the best.
One note though, there is you got to be a little bit careful. There are a couple of seats in the visitor section that should be clearly labeled obstructed view, and they're not.
Well, how would you know that?
Well, just happen to get one. You'd rather not get the obstructed view. I mean, quirky old building, right? So it's fun. Part of the charm is its age and history. With those older buildings, sometimes sight lines in certain spots. I'm stunned they don't have it as one of their season ticket holders, but they give it to the away team.
That's kind of like that Bugs Bunny cartoon. There's one where I think it's either Bugs or Foghorn Leghorn. They go in one of them baseball stadiums, and it might have been Daffy Duck. And he gets all fired up. He's going to the ball game. He's all fired up, right? And he just gets to his seat, and whoosh, just this massive metal beam, right? And can't see a thing. I don't know who that was. Foghorn, Bugs, Daffy. Someone will know. One of you guys out there will know.
And just be aware.
Yeah. No, you went to see Nathan Adrian play back in the day, right? That's
Correct.
when you went there.
Correct.
All right. So Nathan came close to winning there. What's it going to take for this particular Mountaineer basketball team to be the first, the one, that team that gets it done?
Let's look at a couple things with Kansas. They are, so the first thing about them, and this isn't new, this is Kansas, but they're doing it again this year. They want to push the pace on you. They're one of the best transition teams in the country, so West Virginia's going to have to limit that transition. I'll get into some of those numbers here in a minute. West Virginia did that in its first meeting. It did a nice job of limiting Kansas's transition. Didn't lead to the win, but that particular area they did well. This surprised me, Tony, as I dug into some more numbers. They're not shooting the volume of threes that you would expect from them, doing a better job of getting to the hoop. They're just in the second percentile nationally over the last 10 games in above-the-break three-pointers. So above the break is described as a non-corner three. Mm-hmm. That surprised me a little bit, just not shooting a ton of threes, getting to the basket.
They always love to they love to put their head right on the rim.
They do. But here's what's interesting, and I'm going to get to this in a minute because you know it's our key with getting to the free throw line. They're not shooting a ton of threes, but they don't get to the line very often. So that's unusual for them. Normally, they're putting so much pressure on you at the rim, but that's not translating into free throws for them. I'll get to that in a minute. I do think Kansas defense is underrated, quite frankly, most years. They're playing good D again this year. They're ninth in the country in defensive efficiency. Very, very good. And the specific part of their defense that may give West Virginia issues, they're in the 93rd percentile, the Jayhawks are, when it comes to opponent field goal percentage from mid-range. Okay? The mid-range two, which is kind of a lost art in today's basketball, Kansas defends that really well. That's a place that West Virginia usually eats. It's in the 83rd percentile in mid-range field goal percentage. So kind of watch that matchup in this game is, can West Virginia hit some of those mid-range jumpers? The area that you may be able to attack, although you didn't in the first meeting, they just don't have a lot of size this year. That's unusual for a Kansas team, right? Their off guard is bigger than their center. Right? Grady Dick at 6'8" is bigger than KJ Adams playing in the middle at 6'7". Now, Adams extremely athletic and is very good, but that size advantage should help West Virginia on the glass. Kansas isn't great on the offensive boards. West Virginia should be able to rebound against them and get in there and get some points. All right, there's an overview. Now let's get into some specifics. Start with that limiting transition that I mentioned. Kansas averages 19 points per game on fast breaks. That's in the 100th percentile, Tony. I think that's pretty good.
They like to get it and scoot.
How about this? 93% field goal percentage on fast breaks. They shoot 93% on fast breaks.
So you're saying they finish?
When they get on the run, they generally finish it.
To your point, that is the problem oftentimes when you play there. So you're in this tinderbox of a facility as far as noise goes.
Yeah.
And they play to that style. So they'll scoop one off the glass, they'll outlet, they'll attack the rim, they'll go up, someone will throw up an alley-oop with a hook to it, guy comes over, hits his head on the rim, slams it down, and the place just turns into an absolute, it's just an earthquake of sound, and the other team just goes like, oh, we're not in, well, guess what? You are in Kansas. Dorothy, we're not in Kansas anymore. Yes, you are. You're in Kansas, and you got a problem. So you're right. Getting back in transition's massive.
West Virginia did that in the first meeting.
Yes.
Less than 1 point per possession on 9 transition chances. Again, that didn't translate to a win here, but West Virginia, at least in that facet of the game, did a nice job in meeting one. They've got to continue it. All right, let's take a minute here. You okay on time?
Oh, I got nowhere to be.
Okay, good. Let's take a minute here and explore this points at the free throw line. One, my weekly disclaimer, massively important for West Virginia to get to the line. Number two, do we ever talk about the refereeing and the foul shooting in Fog Allen Fieldhouse? Has that ever come up?
I think way a long time we may have brought it up once.
Okay. Well, this will make twice on the show. Let's get into it. So West Virginia continues to be great at getting to the line, 97th percentile in the country in free throw attempt rate. And as I mentioned earlier, this is what surprised me in diving into this particular part of the matchup. Kansas is just not getting to the line. 35th percentile nationally in free throw attempt rate. That's 9th in the Big 12. I didn't go back and do history research on Kansas. That's got to be the lowest in the time that West Virginia's been in the league against them. They always seemingly get to the rim. So let's watch that in this game. Stylistically, it should set up that West Virginia gets to the line more than Kansas. But let's hold on here. So a couple of things working against West Virginia when we talk about that, and they're on the road in Fog Allen Fieldhouse specifically. West Virginia continues to put teams on the line at a ridiculously high rate. One of the bottom 20 teams in the country when putting opponents on the free throw line. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's just one. That's the point. When West Virginia is under its average free throw rate in a Big 12 game,
here comes something good,
which it's only done once in Big 12 play.
Say that again. Give me the preface on that again.
Okay. If West Virginia is under its average free throw rate in Big 12 play, it's only won once when it does that. That was against Oklahoma State. So it just is imperative that it gets to the line at a high rate. So if you're at a game that sometimes happens in Lawrence where you're not getting as many calls as the home team, that's going to be a giant red flag in this matchup. West Virginia just simply has to get to the line to win games, is the point of that number. Okay?
Let me jump in here. Just put in, again. Have we ever talked about West Virginia getting to the free throw line or not getting to the free throw line?
Every show.
Have fans at times expressed the concern that West Virginia does not get a good whistle?
Occasionally,
right? It's past Mr. Howe, is that correct?
That's correct.
Thank you. I'll continue my questioning, Your Honor. Mr. Howe, some numbers, if you would take a look at Exhibit 5B, if the bailiff would present that to Mr. Howe. These are the current Big 12 conference stats. Every team in the league has now played 15 league games.
Mm-hmm.
West Virginia has attempted more free throws than any team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
377 for West Virginia in conference play. Kansas has taken 300, 77 less, to your point. The team that's taken the fewest free throws in the conference is Oklahoma at 242. So West Virginia's taken 130 of those. And the team we'll see Monday, Iowa State, The second fewest, 252. So in both of these games, I know you're going to get to Iowa State in a second, but this free throw line is just...
It's enormous. And again, I've literally said it every one of these shows during basketball season because it's so massively important to this West Virginia team. It just simply doesn't win. Did the other night against Oklahoma State. It just doesn't win when it gets to the line. Here's the second part of this key to watch when you're at Fog Allen Fieldhouse. Let's put some numbers to what you already think going in is going to happen. Right? You already assume going in they're going to get more free throws. They're going to get bad call. We're going to be mad about the officiating. So let's put some numbers to it. The Jayhawks have gone over their average season free throw attempt rate 5 times in 7 home games.
That's a great one.
The numbers are the numbers. I'm simply reporting the numbers.
You report, they decide.
I'm just simply reporting the numbers that 5 times in 7 games, Kansas has gone over its season average free throw attempt rate. So, as I said the last couple of shows, it's a dual key for West Virginia. You've got to get to the line and get to that 23, 24 or more % of your points from the free throw line, number one, and you've just got to find a way to not put them on the line. Because that's where West Virginia has cost itself some games, is that area hasn't been as big of an advantage as it should be because you're also fouling and putting the other team on line. Okay, you with me? Thank you for indulging the extra time there.
Oh, that was good.
Third piece, and I mentioned this in the open, can West Virginia use its size advantage here against Kansas? So if you can limit their transition where their lack of size helps them, right? Their fleet of foot can get up and down the floor. Can you have your size work to your advantage? Can Jimmy Bell get you buckets inside?
I'd take
Jimmy Butler too. Yeah. Can Jimmy Bell get you a little bit? What about Trey Mitchell with his back to the basket? We saw that the other night against Texas, right? Didn't put Trey in the post. They wouldn't double team him. He went bananas. Probably Bill Self has scouted that. Now, I'm not sure. I would think he probably picked up on that. If he didn't, one of those assistants probably listened to the show. They heard us talking about
Maybe
it.
Like Norm Roberts or Curtis Townsend.
Yeah, one of those two probably
Joe Dooley's back there now, too.
He is very animated on the bench, too, as well. He's totally engaged now.
Yeah. You know how old I am? I did Joe Dooley's games when he was at GW. That's how old I am. I look at Joe Dooley and I go like, man, like Joe Dooley's like, he's getting older. And I'm thinking like, well, God dang, you did his games. Yeah.
So here's an interesting stat I dug up. So Trey Mitchell went into the post 8 times, did not get doubled on any of them, right? And had a field day. When West Virginia played Kansas the first time, WVU posted up Mitchell 5 times. Kansas doubled him on 3 of those occasions.
Yeah.
So we should have looked at it the other way. Right? Texas Tech obviously didn't pay attention to that film. Can Trey Mitchell work inside? So that's 1. 2, pound the offensive glass on Kansas. West Virginia's in the 97th percentile in second chance points over the last 5 games. They're shooting it better on those second chance shots than they were earlier in the season, which we talked about. It's not great, just at 54%, but it's better than it was early in the season. The challenge is on that post-up part of this, Kansas is 3rd in the Big 12 in defensive points per possession against post-ups. So it's one area where you think you could attack them because of size, but the numbers show you they've been very good in that area. So there, as you would expect with Kansas, who's putting itself in position to be an overall number 1 seed in this NCAA tournament, there's not a lot of cracks here.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of, you've just got to do a couple things really well. You're going to have to make some threes. You're going to have to hit the glass. You've got to get to the free throw line, and you've got to try and limit them on the transition side of things to pull one off.
I think a lot of times West Virginia gets itself into foul trouble because certain spots it's just not athletic enough. And Kansas is really athletic. And so they take it off the bounce, and what do invariably? You get beat, guy gets to buy you, you reach, there's a foul.
Or your feet can't slide fast enough and there's contact,
Exactly. That's a good breakdown.
That was a lot. I had to go a little deeper because the free throw line is going to be massively important as you watch this.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I have not heard the names of the 3 arbiters of the game yet. However, that does come into play.
It does.
There are certain officials.
Because it's not just, as we've said before, it's not just what they're calling on that day. It's just the style that they allow to go that day. Is it called tighter? Is it going to be one of those games where they start out early calling fouls and then it continues? Style matters when West Virginia plays, what they allow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You need an official, or you need officials working your Kansas games in Allen Fieldhouse that just don't care. And by that I mean so ingrained, so seasoned, they're not going to get caught up, which is almost impossible, but you're not going to get caught up when that crowd explodes, because it is just human nature to get caught up in that. Saw a wonderful study several years ago about soccer officials overseas, and they did the same thing. Calls at home, calls on the way, and they did studies and got into their heads and everything. And basically the study said officials unintentionally get overcome by the environment. And so there are certain guys, though, in this league that are just like, been there, done. And if I name some names now, you would go, you don't want him. No, you know why you don't want him? You think you don't want him because when he comes here, he's not impacted at all, and he'll give calls that you would think should go to the home team. He'll give them to the road team. So you want that same guy when you're on the road, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know those people, right? Just kind of like, whoosh, like they give you that look. You know, we got a guy here that we work with, not in this building, but in the company. And he'll just give you that blank, like, yeah, and he'll just go, he don't care. Right? I mean, not going to mention any names, but he just kind of gives you that. That's the referee you need. You don't need bouncy, exuberant personality guy. You need basically stone cold. Just like, I don't care. Whatever.
And then someone's got to be a dude for West Virginia. Someone's just got to decide. Like you've seen Stevenson over games. You've seen Kedrian Johnson do it a couple times. You saw Trey Mitchell. Again, we keep talking about this because I thought he was electric the other night against Oklahoma State. Just went after them. Somebody's got to just say, you know, to your point on officials not caring that they're in Fog-Out Fieldhouse, you need a West Virginia player or two to do that.
Yes.
To say, you know what, I don't care if I'm playing open gym or I'm playing here. Give me the friggin' ball, get out of the way.
Well, do we want to go there? You know who that could be? Player coach.
That's what I just said. I just named three of them.
Yeah.
That you've seen already do that. I mean, they're going to have to. I think Trey Mitchell's got to back up that really good Oklahoma State performance with another one.
Yeah. I mean, the player coach, if the player coach can go in there, now it's going to be his first time in there. I don't think Wichita played him when he was at Wichita. Probably not.
They usually don't want to play Wichita, right?
Right. They wouldn't do that. So player coach needs to go in there and stay inside of himself and have fun. Just have a fun game. But he's got to stay inside of himself. Really super hard. Because if any crowd can get you off your game and make you, sideways, probably be these guys. So player coach, yeah, I'm totally with you. Nothing better than a great player that goes on the road and just basically internally, not with a hand gesture, but flips everybody off.
Yes.
It's a good, nice to have you.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
It's one of the all-time great thanks for having us.
Yeah. Just like.
Now, as we know, though, that doesn't happen a lot on the road in that particular building. So someone step up here. Break the string.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I got.
All right. 3 guys before the game. I wanted to give this show. I'll have better numbers, but I did want to give you guys collectively being our listeners, a thank you. We've gone over. Did I ever say this? We've gone over 2 million downloads.
Excuse me?
We've passed 2 million audio downloads
in the show's history.
2 million.
2 million.
And
now that's just audio listens. That's not video
just
views.
Just audio. And I went this past week and I looked at our growth. I took the same 30 days a year ago. So what would that have been like from January, like say January 19 to February 19 in 22, and then did the same exact days, 19 February to 19 January to 19 February this year. And we're up 34% same time last year.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. That's great.
Yeah. So really do appreciate that very, very much. We're just here to be here. Just here to help.
2 million can't be a common number in the podcast world, right?
No. Our listens, according to the national numbers, our listens put us in the top, our audio downloads, and we do over 6,000 downloads per episode, puts us in the 1 percentile. You like percentile? You always bring those
give me a
percentiles.
percentile. Yeah, I like percentiles.
We're in the 1 percentile of podcasts by having 6,000 listeners.
Which is
or
good.
more.
So that's opposite than how I do my numbers. So actually, on the flip side, if you make them run them similar to how I do this, we'd be in the 99th percentile.
Yeah, but really, there's only
top 1% of listenership is what you're saying.
Correct.
Right.
And the video and the YouTubes is going ever since we got next door over here. The producer Taylor finally convinced him to upload all of the episodes. He started doing that September 1.
That's rolling.
Had to put one of those invisible fence collars on him. So,
just what, being insubordinate?
He said, "Why are you putting this on me?"
I
said, "Because you continue to be intermittent in your uploads of the thing on YouTube. So now got that collar on him.
It's got more consistent.
Got one of them hand clickers. So you look down, the thing up, and tell you what, he doesn't cross that line anymore. He stays right down there and uploads it.
Well, that's great for the listeners and viewers. Thank you.
Yeah.
And as we always say, however you listen or watch, follow on all mediums. We love it.
Absolutely right. 3 guys before the game, brought to us by Comax Business Systems, digital phone systems, competitively priced. Just give them a call, and they'll come in and give you a free price quote from 1 line to 1,000 lines. Boy, you got to have a lot of people if you need 1,000 phone lines. I mean, that'd be a big bookmaking operation.
Be busy.
Yeah, if you had that. 3 guys also brought to us by the Burdett Camping Center. They're getting ready for their busy season. We've had some suggestions from our texters as to what you can do in those Burdett campers as you get ready for the season. And I know this. Warranty lasts forever. All right, let's go to Iowa State. Can West Virginia get a sweep?
Ooh, you're asking a lot there. But can you get Iowa State? Hilton Coliseum has been a nightmare too. I mean, that's one of the very difficult buildings to play in. But you start to look at Iowa State here. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. They've lost 6 of 8.
I know.
Right? But they're not usually at home. They're 4-1 at home. The only loss was surprisingly to Oklahoma State. It's who their home losses to. These are 2 pretty even teams if you look at the numbers. Ken Palm has Iowa State 19th. Today, as we record, West Virginia at 20th. So let's go back to the free throw line and talk about this for a second. Remember when we met Iowa State for the first time and all the Iowa State people I talked to?
Well, you started a fire there. You went on the radio out there. You basically, as a farmer in Iowa, you seeded the poor clouds, and then you just said, I'm going to come into Iowa, get on a radio show here, seed the clouds, flipped everyone out, and then it came and it rained.
And it happened. I just tried to tell the good people out there what was going to happen. Here's what's going to happen.
Terrific people out there.
Tremendous people. But they were in a panic about Iowa State coming here and West Virginia getting a billion free throws against them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's kind of what happened. 55 combined free throws in that game when they met the first time. But here's the thing to watch. Both of these teams put you on the line a ton. I mentioned in the last segment about West Virginia doing it at 341st.
Right.
Iowa State's at 337th nationally in terms of putting teams on the line. So point being, strap in Monday night. Strap in.
So
you might have a 3-hour and 15-minute game.
You say don't get the early flight?
Just go ahead and settle in. Going to take a while to watch. You might be there a little later in Ames than you normally are.
Fine.
This is probably going to be a long game. So that becomes a key again. Which of those comes more true? Is it even? Can West Virginia pull ahead? Again, you're on the road in a difficult place to play. The more you can get to the line and get some free throws there, the better off you are in this game. So West Virginia was plus 7 attempts and plus 7 points at the line here in Morgantown. That was their second best free throw attempt rate game of the season. So that's why I told all the fine folks out there with Iowa State that this is what you have to watch in the game is West Virginia getting the line. Can they do it again out there? That's key. All right, the other area. When you play Iowa State, you have to manage turnovers. In the first meeting between these two teams, Iowa State came in number 1 in the country in opponent turnover rate. And West Virginia handled it just fine. 11 turnovers on the night, and that was one of the huge keys to success to the win that night. West Virginia had the second lowest turnover percentage versus Iowa State in Big 12 play on the season. So no surprise you got to win. Got to the line more than they did, and you didn't turn it over. Well, there's their kryptonite. You go make free throws on them, and you don't turn it over, you've got a good chance to win that game. You've got to do that again. West Virginia or Iowa State comes into this week's game on Monday as it sits today second nationally in turnover rate. So here's some more numbers. In Iowa State's 8 losses, the Cyclones' opponent has had less than a 20% turnover rate in 6 of those. So again, that's the key. You protect it a little bit. Don't turn it over 20% of the time or more. You're probably going to win that game. So there's 2.
It's really good stuff.
All right, can I go down in the weeds one time?
Give me a weeder, yeah.
I'm going to go really down in the weeds here.
I'm fine with that.
Handle Iowa State's pick and roll.
Excuse me?
Handle Iowa State's pick and roll. The Cyclones had 28 pick and roll situations in the first meeting against West Virginia. The Cyclones averaged 1.036 points per possession on those. So again, if you're at like 1 points per possession, you lead the country in points per possession.
Right.
So that's good. If you're above 1,
so
you're having success.
They really hurt West Virginia on that.
They were even better when West Virginia tried to single cover the ball handler. They jumped to 1.14 points per possession. So remember Hugs going into and talking about the ball screen, and that's setting up the pick and roll and why they're doubling and why Jimmy Bell's out there trapping, and people have asked that question. That's part of why Iowa State was hurting West Virginia when it would single cover that. So Hugs was trying something different in that. So watch that. See if Iowa State's continuing to go with that. I don't know why they wouldn't. It worked last game. What's West Virginia's response to that ball screen / pick and roll situation?
Yeah, that's really good stuff. They've been attempting every way humanly possible all season long to figure out how they can best guard that. They seem to have come on, and Huggs said it in his last postgame, they've seemed to have finally found what their optimal way of guarding the ball screen is, and it will be a key, obviously, coming up in Saturday's game. Those are really good. Those are really, really good numbers.
So I checked the numbers.
Yeah, really
Went
good.
Deep. Thanks for staying with us there because we had 2 to get in and there were a lot of numbers.
That's right. Here we go.
Into
Do
the
it.
analytics portion of the show.
Ready? 5, 4.
Spreads on stats. Probably should get like an accounting firm.
Brought to you by?
Well, you should have an accounting firm on that. You're given all these hard numbers. Those accounting firms, all they do is just take people's money, charging you billable hours all the time, doing your taxes. I mean, you got a guy right here that's giving you numbers. Well, I tell you what, you talk to those accountants nowadays. April comes up, you look at them now, right? You ever talk to an accountant this time of year? How you doing? Oh, guess what? Why did they move tax day this year as a surprise? Did you not see that coming?
Here's the thing. Can I just tell you, we're off the air, right? This isn't on?
No, we're recording.
I mean, we're hoping to get sponsors on this show, right? You've now attacked the accounting industry and the insurance industry over the last month. Can you kind of just chill out on attacking different industries?
They're good people. I mean, they serve a need in society, but I mean, I don't know. I just feel a lot more comfortable with Kercheval, with recreational vehicles, pontoon boats, and a 8-foot Slim Jim. That's all I'm saying. You guys got, you know how Hugs always says, just show me what you can do. Like for me, our sponsors, those are my people. I mean, I can work. I'm in that world. If we could get like a meatball sponsor, then I'd be like at a different level. Different level.
Probably do need some food involvement.
Well, that's yeah. I had an idea this morning, as a matter of fact, about I don't know if it would be an addendum. Well, this thing's coming to an end anyway, so maybe that'll be the next version of whatever it is that we do, but it's got to be a food-related show.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun.
As you well know, I sometimes put things out maybe a little bit too early in the early stages.
So is that what's about to happen here?
Yeah. I got an idea in my head where some form of us, whether it's me, you, Kercheval, you can never get, you can't even get him in the show, like empty seat over there. But like we do a thing called Eating West Virginia. Eating West Virginia. And we just go around the state and we just visit with folks.
In a Burdette RV?
Could be. I don't know how, but maybe a pontoon. Take a pontoon up the old river.
Well, there should absolutely be a cheat lake, a Summersville lake on the pontoon.
You could do that,
Not even
but my point is we visit with people that make food. because invariably from Weirton to Welch, Martinsburg to Matewan, and all points in between, when people come up to you, they say either this place makes the best or I make the best, fill in the blank, whatever it might be. And sometimes they do, and it's really, really good. And I think that I would really enjoy spending time with those people, sitting down, at, they can explain to us what it is they made, how they made it, and then we'll taste it. And I think the key would be, if it's not good, right?
Here, I'll just tell you what the key is. The key is you have to get in your mind, you have to shed the food snob persona and be ready to go for whatever comes your way.
What do I say if it's not good? No, seriously. What would you like? I'm using you as my advisor.
No,
what do I say? Like someone, they get all excited, they make us something, and then they serve it, and you go like, man, this freaking sucks.
Here's what would happen. Much like the old days, they used to do this with like kings and queens. They had like food testers, make sure there wasn't any poison in there,
right,
and have somebody else test it, before it gets to where it's going. Yeah, that's in essence what this would have to be.
So Taylor goes out.
I don't know that I trust Taylor to do that. That's a heavy responsibility. There's got to be some form of testing involved before the place is selected as a host of the podcast. Because we can't have you going in and you get served and you don't like it, and then you flame throw, and then the thing goes awry.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd have to test first. So have to take a bunch of submissions and then pare it down to the ones.
So let's just say, this is coming together nicely. Hope you don't mind us having this. So basically, we ask people, okay, tell us where the best blank is. Okay, fine. Then they say this. So then let's just say hypothetically it's in Fayetteville, right? What are you laughing about over there?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Say it's in Fayetteville, and they say this place has the best whatever.
Yes.
So we know people all over the great state of West Virginia, because that's West Virginia. Everyone knows someone somewhere. So we just go like, you call up, and let's say the guy's Bobby that we know down there, and go, Bobby, it's me, it's you, we're talking. Okay, this sandwich at this place, for real, talk to me here. And if they give you any like, well, I mean, it's okay, but the bread's kind of like, that's out. We don't even go down. But if they go like, dude, I'd walk on 5 miles of glass to eat that thing, then we go, okay, we're coming.
Okay, that, or we also just incognito roll into some of these places, try it, don't say anything, and then leave. And if we liked it, then it becomes part of the rotation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's going to take an extra step of work. There's going to be an added element of secondary travel there that you've got to get through.
I like the incognito part.
But you just roll in, you have a sandwich at whatever place they say has the best sandwiches, and if we like it, then we go in, hey, by the way.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you just say, okay, thanks for having us, and you're out.
How much incognito do we go to? Like we wear like hat, glasses?
Yeah, I don't know that we need to wear disguises. I think we just go in to eat. We're just there to eat.
Okay, I got it.
I mean, if there's a 3 Guys listener in there that says, hey, 3 Guys, then we're just there to eat.
Yeah. Or if we get ID'd, then we just go like, well, they're out of the loop. Can't come in here. We've been busted. They got us. We've been exposed. We're out.
I don't know. They don't have that. No, because we've traveled around the state, do different speeches, do things. Just stop in and have a place to have lunch. Doesn't mean we're there to do anything other than have lunch.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
You like the title, Eating West Virginia? Because that kind of goes back to like eating an elephant one bite at a time. Right? Kind of the way.
Why isn't it just eating West Virginia one bite at a time?
Yeah.
Too long?
No, I like that.
Eating through West Virginia one bite at a time?
I just think eating West Virginia. Eating West Virginia is good.
Okay, good. That didn't get off course at all.
Textual healing. Three Guys Before the Game accepts your text at 304-404-4083. 304-404-4083. 304-404-4083. Textual healing may at times sound a little bit like sexual healing. Maybe some inference that they may be similar to sexual healing. which got me to listen to Marvin Gaye's greatest hits earlier this week. And I really love listening to Marvin Gaye. He was an incredible talent. Always bums me out how he died. His father killed him. Always bums me out. I mean, it wasn't long after he released Sexual Healing. I mean, he was kind of like back rolling out again, and just horrible. I hate that. Meanwhile, 3 guys from Todd in Missouri. I wanted to let you know that I am bringing all the positive vibes I can gather looking for an upset Saturday at Fog Allen. I was blessed during Christmas this year by having a lady that spoils me rotten fill my stocking with 6 tickets to the Kansas game this weekend. We've been waiting for this game all year. While my lady is a Missouri State Bear, and our friends include 2 Missouri Tigers, 1 Purdue Boilermaker, and 1 Arkansas State Red Wolf, we all have one thing in common. We are Jayhawk haters. Of course, all but me were born and raised in Missouri, which explains the deep ire and resentment for the Jayhawks. There will be at least 6 loyal Mountaineer fans yelling from the cheap seats at the Fog. We all have a late 9 p.m. reservation back in Kansas City at Corvino's Dinner Club after the game. You'd be most welcome to join us. My treat. Let's go Mountaineers.
That was nice.
Very, very nice. Thank you very much. Todd, I'd absolutely have dinner with you, but we're taking off as soon as the game's over. Texter, it was nice to see Trey Mitchell have a bounce-back game. I looked back at his entire season on Ken Pom, and I saw that since the home game against TCU, he has not been shooting nearly as much or getting to the line as frequently. Before that, he had terrific games against some very good defensive teams like Kansas, Baylor, K-State, and Oklahoma State. Unlike earlier this season, it seems like teams are doubling Trey as soon as he gets the ball down low, and West Virginia has not been able to make teams pay for doing so. So that's his point. Next topic. I can only spring for the super fancy analytical stats for football season. I was wondering if one of Brad's other analytical tools could shed some light either way regarding West Virginia's offensive efficiency or lack thereof when it comes to double downs in the post. Clay Wilcox, Lexington, Kentucky. That was a well-crafted, well-thought out. Yeah.
Love it. Love him diving into the numbers, too, and looking at it. Yeah, so, Clay, I didn't see this text before we were going through the keys, so you heard a little bit of that right there. We talked about the 8 times against Oklahoma State that Trey got it in the post and no one double-teamed him and he went to work. We talked about Kansas when they played the first time. They doubled, 3 of the 5 times it went into him, they doubled on Trey Mitchell. So I'll go back and see if I can get that on a season basis, but those are a couple of the last games that you heard us go over there.
Texter. Hello! John in Alexandria, Virginia, originally from Sistersville. Longtime listener. First-time texter. 3 quick points. Some buddies and I heading to Lawrence for the first time this weekend. Any restaurant or bar recommendations? Okay, if there's anyone else that's listening, I already sent this to John, but this is from my boy, Brian Haney, voice of the Jayhawks.
Sure, good friend of the program.
As far as a sports bar goes, go to the 23rd Street Brewery. Try the Bill Self Mac and Cheese or the Haney Turkey Stack. So Haney's got a turkey sandwich named after him.
How about that?
I don't know if I'd like to have food named after a turkey after me, but anyway, Haney seems to be okay with it. If you want a nice restaurant, 715, the number, 715. It's not the address. That's the name of the restaurant. Merchants is another one. Basil Leaf, or the other one would be Encore. They're all on Mass Street. West side of town, Jay Wilson's and the 6 Mile Chop House. And if you guys all want to get together, Haney has offered to give these folks a brief guided tour at about 5:30 Central Time on Saturday after the game.
I don't think that part's true, is it?
Seriously. He did.
He did?
Yeah, that's what he does. He rolls like that. He's great. He's great. Yeah, he's terrific. You know, since I said Central Time, I wanted to update our listeners on the Central Time situation.
Please. Is it solved yet?
Getting there.
What'd they tell you? They're efforting?
Basically. Yeah.
Did you tell them to effort faster?
Well, I didn't want to get. I mean, it was nice enough to write back. I didn't want to attack him. So the conference has polled the other Power 5 conferences to see what they do in regard to multiple time areas. And
hold on, I'm sorry. They what?
They wanted to see what the other leagues were doing that have multiple time zones within their conference. Just let me answer.
Yeah, but the answer is they represent all the time zones in the conference. That's the answer.
Well, they wanted.
Why do you have to ask other people if you should include a time zone that's in your league? What do you mean you had to ask the other conferences? Just include all the time zones that are in your conference.
Well, they're getting there. So then they reached out to their web provider, the league did, and the software is obviously available out there because the other leagues are using it. Right now, since they all don't use the same software providers, the folks that run the Big 12s have their folks efforting, and they do know that the expansion that's coming up within the league in July with the 3 time zones now going to become more of a factor. That
so now it's an issue?
It's
not an issue just for West Virginia, but now it's an issue that others are coming in?
They are going to have all 3 represented properly, and so they're going to be doing a website redesign that'll come out this summer as the new members come in, and then that will rectify said situation, and then we'll have the time zones properly. So
well,
listen, just don't
no,
blame.
here's what I'll say. I sure hope this podcast receives thank you notes from Utah and from Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll just say that.
The way things are going, I mean,
we're carrying the heavy loads up the hill as these new schools just breeze right in and get accepted with their time zone.
Mm-hmm. John in Alexandria finishes up. Can you guys explain a good reason why Hugs had to ditch Press Virginia's style of play? West Virginia won tons of games playing to Hugs' strengths, aggressive defense offsetting one of the weaknesses, a good half-court offense, by creating points off turnovers. If he had to do it over again, do you think he would have stuck with Press Virginia? John, I've often thought the same exact thing that you're thinking of. I would love to see it. And Hugs, obviously, I mean, he can make the change by going like, this is what we're doing again. And for whatever reason, he doesn't think that they can do it well enough. And so that's why it went away. Lastly, from John, I thought you might enjoy this picture of my Slim Jim holder. See, top of his car? So he got a designated Slim Jim holder that fits on top of his car that carries that Slim Jim.
About the same size. That'll work. That's well done.
Texter Josh in Morgantown writes, we just had our 3rd child, Joshua Hayden. Part of my celebration should be Hoppy Kirch of Ale. Any delivery options like wine services these days? I also realize my son is born into this family that loves West Virginia sports. They say babies sense our stress. Needless to say, Texas Tech game caused great screams in the hospital room, and the baby was crying too. Anyway, I love the show. We own property in Morgantown, willing to trade the property for anything in Destin, Florida. There you go. There's the baby. Look at the baby.
Very good.
How cute
Did you say that
baby.
name right, though? I think it's Haddon.
I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah.
Did I say Hayden?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Apologize about that, Joshua. It's Haddon.
Yeah.
Haddon. Haddon. There you go. Congratulations.
Awesome.
And the blessings to your baby. What did it come in at? 6'5"? That's 6'5"? 19 inches?
I think, yeah.
5'5", 6'5". Very nice.
And we'll keep you posted if you get any, since we are a trading post here at times, we'll let you know if we get any Destin offers in.
Mm-hmm. Will in Charlottesville, Virginia. My first son was born a week ago. I've been watching West Virginia basketball on replay since between the feedings and the changes, but I'm looking forward to sharing West Virginia athletics with him. I feel it's going to teach him the most important lessons in life. 1, endure, even when things are down. It only makes the great moments sweeter. That's really good. 2, no matter how bad things get, always remember how lucky you are to be where you are, the Big 12 instead of the American. And number 3, Big 12 basketball officiating is terrible. Come on, man. There's the baby. Well, I think we pointed out earlier that West Virginia's taken more foul shots than any other team in the conference. And congratulations on the baby. Oh, little baby.
Baby week here on Three Guys.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Texter, yes, I have land in West Virginia. This is where I hunt. My wife calls it the hillbilly high rise. Look at that place. It's also a great phone booth. We love the podcast and have listened to every episode. You guys are the best lover Mountaineers. Thank you very much. Look at that. Look at that tree stand. Oh boy, got in there.
Got a big flat patch right there. That's nice.
Get them. What it doesn't show is all the corn they have down there to get them deer coming in. Texter. Hello, Chance this guy's name is Chance from North Myrtle Beach by the way of Clarksburg, longtime listener, first-time texter. I'm all in for the Myrtle Beach event. In fact, I could help with any accommodations needed. I manage vacation rentals.
Ooh.
This show has official gas station, business systems, RV distributor, boating. I'd say it's about time you get an official vacation rental management company for the Myrtle Beach area.
I agree with that.
Yeah. With all the three guys, will the three guys apparel be at Daniels? If so, I have to get my guy Phil and send me a care package. All the best to you guys. Go Mountaineers. Boy, starting to get a little matriculation down there in Myrtle, aren't we?
I told you, there's traction down there.
Now you're saying we can get 10, 15 people down there to go?
At least 12. Now we've had multiple people offer to organize the event.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chance.
Hello, three guys. This is Joe in New Mexico.
He asked you about three guys apparel. Do you just want to say efforting?
Efforting. Yeah, efforting. Hello, three. What we're doing right now on the apparel side is we're trying stuff out. Three guys. So you might see us wearing some things. We're literally testing it as far as, is it a good fit? Does it feel good? That's what we're doing. So you'll see us wearing, like, what do we got? Adidas. We got Peter Millar. We just got different brands that we're just literally trying out to see what's best. This goes all the way back to the event we did on the 6th of January. We're not doing anything crappy. We're not doing anything crappy. It's going to be good or we're not going to do it. Plain and simple. Three guys, Joe in New Mexico, born and raised in Kanawha County, went to university in Monongalia County, former resident of Berkeley County,
This is excellent.
former resident of Cabell County, former resident of Putnam County, and now former landowner in Monroe County, former vacationer at Myrtle Beach, and recipient of several of your email replies. I own 15 acres in Arkansas where I spent 15 years, and when I left I had 6 lawnmowers I had to sell, all of which I serviced myself. I've been a loyal listener, taking in all 444 episodes and sometimes a texter. Do you think maybe I've earned a P1 listener status after all of that? By the way, what is that anyway? Yeah, you're a P1 listener. That means someone that's just locked in like you are. Thanks for always keeping things positive. Great show. Love you guys. Thank you very much.
That's a lot of former residents of.
So he's in New Mexico now.
Is that our first text from New Mexico?
No. Remember, we got salsa from New Mexico in the past. It literally, it's salsa sent to us from New Mexico. Yeah.
Did I get that or did you eat it all?
I think you had some of that. Texter, first off, I'm a mineral rights owner in Cabell County, wishing I had hunting and fishing land in Webster County. Second, I've been watching this godforsaken show for 444 episodes. If too much time invested for this show not to continue, it's too much time invested in this show not to continue. If you're not going to reach 800 episodes, then hire someone who will continue the show, and you three guys can make a guest appearance now and then. Try efforting that. Hell, I love talking WVU sports, food, and beer all day. Call my silly ass, and I'll drive up and host the show. Signed by Bob Beckett and Culloden.
Well done, Bob.
Great to see him. Texter, Josh from Morgantown, formerly of Canvas, mid-episode text. With all due respect, Tony, did you mean Fenwick instead of Rennick? I've traveled that route through Nettie many a time over the years past said Go-Mart. No fly rod Slim Jim purchases to my credit to get to Cherry Hill Country Club atop Hinkle Mountain in Richwood. One of the best 9-hole golf courses you can find and a pretty piece of property anyone would be proud to call theirs and make them a landowner. I'm just fact-checking in case Taylor doesn't get things corrected before the end of this show. I'm a dedicated listener, very infrequent texter, love the show, and appreciate you guys getting us through these last few football and hoop seasons. Here's to creating some madness in March. Let's go Mountaineers. Josh, thank you so very much for writing in. He's absolutely 100% right. I screwed that up. I thought Rennick was Fenwick, and I've gone to Fenwick.
But you've not been to Rennick.
No.
You've been to Fenwick.
Fenwick. I don't think I've been to Rennick.
Thank God Josh is listening.
Rennick's in Greenbrier County. I don't know. Maybe my boy Jeff Campbell will call me here in a little bit and say, you dumbass, I brought you to Rennick before. Maybe he will. I don't know.
But it's definitely not past the Go-Mart there.
No,
and
that's
straight ahead
Fenwick.
as you thought it was.
So we used to go to Fenwick because we produced videos for a company there. You're going to love this. That makes inflatable rubber boots for the wings of private airplanes to take the ice off. They're ice boots. It's a rubber piece that goes on the wing, and so when they're in the air and things get wet, cold, potential, so those inflatable rubber boots expand and break off the ice while in flight. And we did videos for those guys. So that was Fenwick, not Rennick. My bad 100%. Sorry about that. Texter, as I listened to the latest episode, I was left wondering if season 2 will be called 3 Other Guys Before the Game. You guys are so adamant that episode 800 is not happening, so if YouTube subscribes help the show, who will the host's future be? I, for one, hope 800 happens. P.S. If more of the world's best fudge is needed, just let me know. I love the show. Provides a bright spot in a downtime for Mountaineer athletics.
Oh, it's Michael and Culloden who brought the fudge.
Well, his daughter.
His daughter brought the fudge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's this, 4:45?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. We'll see. Texter, much like David Allan Coe thinking that he had written the perfect country and western song in You Never Called Me by My Name, I thought I had sent the perfect 3 guys before the game text. Then I realized I had sent it to the wrong number. The only reason it could have not been read live. Before Brad referenced the quarter advantages versus halves in basketball in the last episode, I had the similar thought. Quarters in a game produce a better game with predictable stoppages in play and less use or losing timeouts. Not to mention, they would provide better opportunities for in-game betting, deeper and more satisfying swills from a thermos if commentating, and more natural opportunities to leave the contest before it was actually over. Is there evidence there is a better flow from the women's side now that there is ample sample size? Thanks so much for the opportunity to attend the Kirchhoff event. Luke Darnell food was amazing, and the old lady remarked several times that she felt like she was really part of something special. Signed by previously Peter from Parkersburg. So did he move? Take out of Parkersburg? I'd be surprised if quarters don't come to men's college basketball, at some point.
I'm surprised we're not there.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the evidence that he's referring to there, but we need to look at that. I did talk to somebody in that world the other day about that.
Right. Texter, dear 3 guys, I'm a longtime Mountaineer fan. I grew up in West Virginia, and I went to school at WVU for both my undergrad and graduate degrees. I wanted to run my gambling philosophy past you to see if you think I'm crazy. This will be good. My gambling philosophy is that I always bet against the Mountaineers. Hear me out. I figure if they win, then I lost money, but WV won. If they lose, at least I won some money. It's betting with your heart and your head. This factors into betting the spread. There's even the chance of the rare no win, no cover, like in the Auburn game. I guess there is the instance of West Virginia covering the spread but still losing. It happens, but rarely. Am I crazy? Signed by Professor Vinny. I love the show. Taylor, I think that's the one graphic you were. There you go. There's a. So he bets against West Virginia. Then if they win, he lose. You know what he's saying.
I do know what he's saying, and I'll answer it this way. Yeah, you're crazy, Vinny. You are. Try and win the bet. But I will say this. You have a lot of crazy with you. I know multiple people that subscribe to this same exact theory.
So that it's kind of
it sets up it's the emotional hedge, right? So if West Virginia loses, you've at least made some money, and these people that I know that do it all subscribe to the theory of the double win. It can create the excitement of the double win is unmatched. West Virginia gets the win, and you win your bet.
That's awesome.
On those occasions when that can happen.
Texter, you guys talking about the mascot tryouts in the last episode. Both Mary, the current Mountaineer, and the alternate Gunner have one tailor-made outfit. The tryout clothes are hand-me-down buckskins. Also, each Mountaineer has their cap named, so that the hat they wear, the cap, is named. Mary posted on a Q&A on her Insta feed that her cap is named Connie. There you go. Convenience store talk has been fun. Buc-ee's is a cult favorite here. People drive over 2 hours just to go to Buc-ee's. Makes me hungry. Signed by Joe in Charleston.
They should have more than one tailor-made outfit.
Well, maybe they cut down budgets. Texter, Scopes, not the Energizer Bunny, and part-time Hoppy. A few episodes back, I heard you all talking about crushing food. Proud to say that I crushed the food I had when I was in Morgantown last weekend. Started off by having dinner with friends, including Jason and John at Mountain State Brewing. Fire on the Mountain pizza. Yeah, pretty good. Next day, we all met at Ruby and Catchy's. Introduced John to buckwheat pancakes. After the game, my friend Barb and I stopped at Muriel's, where I had my favorite lasagna and carrot cake. Those were must-haves after that disappointing game. And there he is. There's his weekend in food.
That's a strong weekend of food.
Well, I tell you, he leaned.
That's really good.
He leaned heavy red all weekend long.
There's a lot of red.
A lot of red in that.
I'd pound 3 of those 4. Can you guess which one I wouldn't pound?
Upper right?
No.
Bottom right.
Hammer that.
Bottom right?
Yeah. Carrot cake out.
Well, carrot cake's good. If it's done right, it's moist, nice.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
All the other 3 in.
So let me ask you this. These people have come up to me of late, that term, like I crushed it. Do people not use that? They're looking at me like that's
Why?
like,
That seems like a new term. Is that
like
just
a new
you and
term,
I do?
like,
You and I just do that?
Yeah, I just say. And then they were like, when I was down there in Texas at with Joe Mock,
Yeah.
like people brought up like crushed it. Like, yeah, that's what we said. Like, I'm going to crush that.
I thought that was commonplace.
So did I. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. Texter, Greg in Catletsburg. Hello, 2 guys. If Coach P comes through with those stress-released lotions or whatever it was, maybe Jay Jacobs could gift some to Hugs on the next Coach's show. Yeah, Hugs might need some of that stress relief. Next time you find yourself in and around St. Mary's, follow the tracks through town, and you'll find a hidden gem called the Boxcar, filled with town and railroad memorabilia. They also provide some of the most tender ribs I've tasted, along with a gracious smattering of down-home sides that definitely are worth your bucks. Have a blessed day, and as always, love the show.
There.
See, now that's exactly
that's what we're talking about.
Eating West Virginia.
That's it right there.
We go into St. Mary's, and we go like, where's the Boxcar? And we sit down, and we have some, okay, may I please have an order of your ribs, is what you would say.
And multiple sides. Couple things there. 1, unique. 2, anytime the directions are follow the tracks through town and you'll find the bike. Perfect. Right?
Yeah.
No streets. Can't put it in the GPS. Just follow the tracks. Boom. Get you there.
Mm-hmm.
We'll keep that. That might be episode 1 of the new show.
St. Mary's got a really nice high school. Really nice high school. Texter, I'm so with you guys on the NIT game at North Carolina State. Last episode, we said that the North Carolina State West Virginia NIT game many years ago was one of the great environments for a game. Texter says, I was also there literally in the pep band. Such a great atmosphere with the crowd on us hard all night. Except after it ended, and they were incredibly gracious and kind to us. I've been a casual Wolfpack fan ever since. Great fans. Right there with Notre Dame Stadium for my top 2 opposing team stadium arena experiences. What are your guys' favorite away venues? Signed by Steve, not Cal. Favorite.
Those are good ones. Those Notre Dame folks were super nice to us when we were out there.
Mm-hmm. Up until this last visit to Texas, and I get it because that's just they moved the students behind the bench, and I guess it got pretty intense behind the West Virginia bench at the most recent Texas game. But I found Texas fans to be very cordial, very, very nice when we've been there for football. just no BS, walking into the stadium and things like that. Everything's cool, very nice, very friendly. They'll talk to you. Iowa State people are very nice. Yeah.
I'll give you a couple. LSU was a fun trip. Football.
Yeah.
Down there.
Mm-hmm.
They parade that Mike the Tiger around the stadium. That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
UCLA, Pauley Pavilion. We enjoyed that trip.
Great experience.
Those are way up there for me.
Yeah, good experience. For the most part, places are fine. Places are fine. You got to turn it around, and you ask yourself the question, if you feel that you just want to be treated when you go on the road the way that you want to treat people when they come to Morgantown the way that you would like to be treated if you were to go on the road. If you just do that, then everything would be all fair and good, right? Just like, hey, I'd like to be treated that same way when I go out there. If you just do that, and for the most part, I think that's happened since West Virginia has joined the Big 12. I think it's been good. We haven't had any, super bad incidents or situations. I think things have cleaned up really, really well since, we got out of the past situations. I think probably have been in those leagues too long, and there were just too many ill feelings and ill will, and it just got to be a little bit tense. Probably shouldn't say this, but as we get these new members in the league and we go down to Central Florida next season, see that, I think that could be a problem.
Why? That could be good.
What do you mean?
There could be some angst, and we've been down there before. And
understand, but here's the deal. Okay, I'll give it to you this way.
It was fiery.
When you go to K-State, when you go to Iowa State, when you go to Oklahoma, when you go to Oklahoma State, they're like, you come in and it says like, hey man, how are you? Everything's good. Everything's good. And I think that those have been good experiences. I think that I don't anticipate getting that when we go in to the new places. Do you find that comment to be agreeable or off base?
I think it might be off base a tad.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that you should have that expectation right now.
You're playing me.
I'm not playing you.
Yeah, you're playing me. Well, you're the one that brought up the situation we had when we played down there before.
I know, but the UCF situation or the multiple situations that have developed over the years there weren't a result of the UCF fans.
Okay.
Those were more behind-the-scenes situations that developed, and I think, quite frankly, West Virginia was at fault in a couple of those.
Do you think those scars have been healed?
Yeah. That's been a number of years now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm sure their stadium personnel workers have changed over since.
They won't remember the caustic comment that came out.
I don't. No.
Okay.
Remember, there were two different stadium workers that were involved at two different times. I'm betting both of those are not in their current roles anymore.
Yeah, probably not. Okay. Fine. In that case, I take everything back that I said.
That shouldn't be all on UCF. Some of that was.
Yeah, we'll see.
West Virginia.
We'll see. So, 2 to play on the road, last 2 regular season road games, which means that we'll record again next Tuesday.
Okay.
Next Tuesday, we'll recap KU, recap Iowa State on Tuesday's episode of the podcast, and that'll leave us with just 1 home game remaining. So we'll go Tuesday, Thursday next week. 3 guys before the game brought to us by the Burdett Camping Center, the only warranty forever RV dealer in all of West Virginia. Whether it's parts, sales, or service, if you're in the market or you need work on your recreational vehicle, visit the folks at Burdett Camping. They've been in business 40 plus years, and you don't stay in business if you don't do a great job, and they do. 3 guys also brought to us by Comax Business Systems. If you're a business owner, whatever it might be, whether it's your managed data, your business phone system, equipment, they got you. You can visit them at comaxwv.com. That's comaxwv.com. Keeping West Virginia's business data safe, secure, and efficient. You don't want to get burned when it comes to your data. They can help you. 3 guys brought to us by Gomart. Go for good times, go for Gomart. And if you don't have the rewards card yet, you should, because you can save on gas and your favorite snacks. You might see Hoppy Kercheval there. Three guys also.
Might be there right now, even though this isn't a live podcast, as some think.
It's not a live podcast, but don't tell Hoppy. Three guys also brought to us by Lou Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans, the premier marine sales dealer in West Virginia. When it comes to pontoons, they are it. They just sell family fun. So if you're getting ready to get back into the water or thought about a pontoon, visit LouWendellMarineSales.com. 2 L's next to each other.
I don't know if we'll still be doing this show in the summer,
Right.
but if we are, we should take like a poll on where the first text with a picture comes from of somebody in a pontoon.
It'll be Summersville.
Like which lake? Like
Summersville or Kanawha River. In one of those two places.
Think about that. That can be a nice little contest there.
All right. Got to rock and roll. We're out. For our producer, Taylor County, Tyler Jingleheimer Schmidt Kennedy, we're out. See y'all.